Hey peeps, what's up? Spencer Smoot here. I'm Solicited QA. This is part two of the Cave Dwellers inside Star Citizen reaction. Just gonna look at this stuff, and I'm not sure what the second half was. The first half, caves and stuff, super cool, light probes, and also I kind of talk about the point thing, like the philosophy with that in game design, of environmental game design, and now it's gonna be whatever. So here we go.
But up next, another aspect of life in the persistent universe evolves once again with the addition of mining laser subcomponents,
Okay.
where an improved prospecting experience begins with the sum of its parts.
Right now, the mining gameplay loop has a lot of interesting things to do. From the prospector mining, you have multiplayer opportunities with the mole. We've seen like fleet of green rocks just harvesting everything they can on the planet. You can now refine all the ore that you collected. We have consumables, and now we're looking into what other things we can add for this gameplay loop.
Oh, cool.
So when it comes to mining, we still need a lot of customization for the player. The player needs to be able to choose how they want to play this game and change the ship and the mining laser based on the rocks they want to harvest, the challenges they meet. They need to have access to small little tuning parameters for their mining lasers, and this is where the mining passive components come in.
And like this is where Star Citizen kind of shines over other games that I've seen, like in the way that like how deep they trying to go. Right, they're like they could really leave it at what it is now. Like you go mine, you go come back refine, and like start on other stuff and do other stuff. But they're just going deep into mining, and that looks good for the future too, because they don't necessarily want to have like a super deep mining experience, and then like surveying is going to be super like shallow, right? So it's just interesting because they keep on going and iterating, and I like that. I like that about sources.
We did initially the mining consumables. They offer that customizability to the player, but they are something that you use now and it runs out. We wanted something where the players invest in a thing and it's with them, and they have the capacity of just swapping them out as they see fit.
We've also updated the mining UI, the active module section specifically, to show the individual bonuses that are actually being gained or lost depending on the module that's equipped and installed. You'll now see that the module you've got installed will actually show you the values that are being modified when they're active.
Oh, that's
This
cool.
is basically just a bit more in the way of signposting, as we call it, to allow people to see at a glance what they're currently modifying, what they've got equipped, and this will hopefully prevent a little bit more confusion in that regard.
Yeah, that's good.
The difference between mining consumables and mining components pretty much is the fact that you don't have to constantly go to a shop and replenish them. Another difference between mining consumables and mining components is the level of power they provide. Consumables, since you do run out of them the more you use them, have a little bit more power. The passive ones have a little less power. This is done mainly to balance them, because something you pay for once and it doesn't run out, it cannot be at the same power as something that you have to constantly replenish.
Yeah. It's super cool, and it just makes it deeper, right? Like it's like yeah, it just adds more complexity, which then adds more individuality, right? Because it helps the player. It makes the player have to make decisions, and decisions are all what games are about, like forcing decisions. And it's super cool. It's just super cool to see. Yeah, it's just awesome.
Components also have different tiers of power, and for some of the components, the ultimate tier is gonna get very close to the mining consumables in power, but those components are gonna cost an arm and a leg.
one of the questions I'm sure is on many people's minds is how do active and passive modules work together? And the answer to that is simple. They can work completely in harmony with one another. The active modules will still be triggered the way that they normally are. The passive ones will always be active. The amount of them that can be mixed and matched is only limited to the number of sub-item slots on the mining laser itself. And this will allow, hopefully, the miners to tailor their loadout the way that they want for aspects of mining that they want to try.
And also, what this does is it creates a more progression through the profession, right? Like you start off, hand mining. You might get a gray cat. Is that what it's called? No. Yes. My brain just went blank on it. The vehicle, right, and join a group, then they can fly you around and you can mine. And then upgrade to a prospector, and then from a prospector to a mole, and like through that you can bring these components with you, but also you can kind of min max like your own stuff and like go down that progression of you're investing into your own profession to make more money, and just going, because like progression is a big thing in MMOs. And the issue with this game is that there's no levels, right? Like there's no levels, so these are kind of in the place of levels, in the profession of or the class, class of mining. So it's interesting. It's interesting how they're doing it, because it's hard. It's hard for the progression. Like progression's just super hard because it needs to also feel rewarding, right? And you can level steps up, right? So progression is really based on money, but additionally it's also reputation. But then with this, like, you customize your own stuff, and I see this level of customization for mostly. I want to assume that's mostly everything, but we'll see. Like I'm not. This is like the first real fleshed out game loop that they're really getting a hold of. So
as soon as our work is going to be done with mining components, we are looking into mining gadgets. Mining gadgets are going to be, let's say you're in a prospector, you encounter a giant rock that you cannot mine because your laser is not strong enough. You can EVA out of your prospector, place a mining gadget on the rock that lowers its resistance, and then get back to your ship and mine. The only problem is you're going to be with your pants down while you do that. If a pirate comes in and tries to shoot at you, you pretty much lost your prospector. With mining, as always, we're constantly improving, we're constantly taking feedback from you guys, we're constantly looking at where the game breaks, what consumables, components are being used more, what are being used less. We're constantly trying to balance, to bring everything to a standard that we feel happy, and I hope you guys feel happy to play. And I hope this change is going to bring a lot of happiness for a lot of people.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that bigger caves are coming with 6 brand new entrance types for vehicles and spacecraft alike. That along with the bigger sizes comes an increase in opportunities when they make their way in.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop. Just super cool. Mining, I like where it's going, because it's they're talking about more depth, right? Like it's more and more depth. Like the gadget thing is cool, and it's just cool. Like they're just adding stuff, and it's hopefully all of the professions are going to be this deep or deeper, right? Like but once the components and modules in and stuff like that for like I'm thinking of the scanning profession, exploration, like and consumables there, and also this kind of maybe the same framework or archetypes that are going there, but we'll see. Like, never know. So that's what it's going to be today. Thanks for watching. Also, let me know if you like this scheduling of like the 2 days apart. Like, I'm trying to figure out the best thing for peeps, because I do want people to watch. I enjoy it and stuff. I just want to make sure that it's actually like